Hello and welcome to the debate. I'm Farrukh Pitafi. Sana Maqbool regularly hosts this show, but she's traveling. In her absence, I'm hosting this program. So today we are going to talk about two important stories. One is regarding the political situation of the country. Of course, we are heading towards national elections. Because of that anticipation, one would have thought that public rallies would start. We have seen a couple of political parties like IPP actually starting their mass contact and events like that. But we haven't seen the major parties actually reaching out to the people the way usually it happens. Pml-n, of course, has taken a lead in many ways in shaping the national narrative. But People's Party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, various other parties are also making their presence felt. The President of Pakistan has also written a letter to the Prime Minister regarding certain concerns expressed by PTI. Amazingly, we know that the office of President is apolitical, and such letters should have been written every time any political party felt the heat. But it is only one party that my president keeps on actually highlighting. So we are going to talk about these matters also. And then the second topic is regarding India. An FATF team is visiting India for on-site inspection. And that inspection is going to be, or visit is going to be concluded on 31st of November. And what we are actually looking at is audit of various financial transactions and how India's reputation of a terror sponsor is something that has been, and other corrupt practices, as well as we have seen FinCEN report and various others. That is something that we have to actually talk about in today's program as well. And in order to help us understand these issues in the studio, I'm joined by Raja Faisal. Like always, we are anticipating two guests who are going to actually join us in discussing these various topics. But the moment they join us, I'm going to introduce them. Let me start with you, Raja Faisal Saab. Political activities in the country. Why is it that we haven't seen the kind of activities that were hallmark of election campaigns?
Yeah, Farrukh, that is a very interesting question and a very relevant one in the current scenario. Of course, when we talk about the elections, I mean the mood of elections. Earlier, I was thinking about the times when there used to be elections and I was a kid. I was a school-going kid or college-going kid, and I remember everywhere you would see the posters and the panaflexes and all of these things that used to be part of it, and rallies after rallies in every constituency. And of course the local local contestants, they used to be head on to each other, and of course going from village to village to campaign for themselves. But right now I'm not seeing that. I don't know why, but I'm not seeing that. On ground the situation is quite different. Maybe the reason behind it is that as yesterday or day before yesterday, Munib Farrukh, he was actually telling us, Munib Qadir.
Not Munib Farrukh,
yeah. Munib Qadir, he was actually highlighting that there are several candidates in each constituency Pml-n has. But when we talk about obviously PTI as a party, political party, I mean they are struggling to find their candidates. That might be the reason. And if we talk about People's Party as a national party, they are facing troubles as well in terms of having their candidates in Punjab being the largest province in terms of population.
And I'm glad that you have actually mentioned Pakistan's People's Party, because we have been joined by People's Party's guest online. So let me bring him in. Zulfikar Ali Bader Saab, leader of Pakistan's People's Party, has joined us. Thank you very much, sir, for being part of the program. He is also an advisor to Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, the chairman of the party. And Bader Saab, we were asking a simple question regarding election preparedness. And it seems that while every political party kept on pushing for elections as soon as possible, we haven't seen the kind of electoral activities that were hallmark of this period. We haven't seen, decisions or names of candidates being highlighted. We haven't seen a public contact movement or some kind of public rallies. Why would that be? Especially regarding your party. And Faisal here was saying that your party is failing in finding candidates in Punjab. So what exactly is the state of affairs there?
Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Thank you very much, Pitafi Sahab, for inviting me. My regards to Faisal Sahab as well. Actually, if I take you a little back when the election was announced back for Punjab and KP, when the two of the assemblies were dissolved, Pakistan People's Party completed their homework and they awarded tickets to all the candidates in Punjab and KP. So since that time, all the tickets have been awarded, and now Pakistan People's Party, till the time the election schedule is not going to be announced, People's Party is not going to announce the candidates of their party till the time
Yeah.
the final list is taken out. So People's Party is hiding their cards for the announcement of their party, candidates. Pakistan People's Party is going to replace few of the candidates because at that time, few of the candidates who were the contestants for the National Assembly, they were also awarded the ticket for the provincial assembly that because at that time National Assembly election was not happening. So now the candidates who are going to contest election for the National Assembly, they are going to be replacing with some substitutes or some new candidates who are going to contest on provincial assembly elections. So there is going to be a little bit change in some of the constituencies, but mainly the candidates are going to be the same, and People's Party will kick off their campaign once the election schedule is going to announce and the tickets are going to be awarded to the people, and then they're going to go, and the party leadership is going to come in the public at the grassroots level and kick off the party
Right,
campaign.
absolutely. So,
At
Badr
that
Sahab, from
time,
your answer, I take it that the party does not have any dearth of electables in Punjab. But let me then ask you, why is it that your leadership keeps on talking about level playing field? I understand PTI has been repeating the same question or raising the same concern. But regarding your party, sir, your party still has a lot of influence in Sindh, and we know that your projects are not actually being stopped now. In fact, there was one caretaker minister actually disagreed with his chief minister regarding these projects. It seems that you are getting level playing fields. Then why are you complaining about it?
And Zulfikar Sahab, if you can allow me as well, I just want to add in another one. You have already mentioned that few of the candidates, of course, they will be changed on the later stages. And of course, these are the cards which you are keeping still to your chest and not showing to anyone else.
No, he said that you said that your party is hiding its cards.
Yeah.
And I think you are hiding the cards well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you are hiding them, are these the cards which have already left the other parties and looking for their chances to get into other, obviously a party like People's Party? So can we say that these might be the people who left PTI and joined People's Party?
Badr Sahab.
Actually, People's Party leadership is not anticipating any of the candidates who have left PTI or other parties, and we are going to. I think the whole process is going on, and there is going to be some kind of surprise. Some people will be joining, but this is right before the awarding of the tickets. So let's see what is going to happen, because party leadership is keeping their cards, with their chest, and they are not going to show until the whole thing is going to go open. Pakistan People's Party going in the regarding the Sindh province, then there is a conflict. I think the provincial minister for health should have resigned, because chief minister is actually the head of the cabinet and head of the province. If you have a conflict with the chief minister, then you should leave the cabinet. But you can't ask that you stay in the same cabinet and
Right.
you
But
can
my
raise the
question
voice
was,
against the chief
Badr sir,
minister.
my question was regarding level playing field.
Pakistan People's Party. Yes, I'm
Level
coming
playing
to
field.
that point.
Yeah.
Regarding level playing field, Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari Saab has actually said that we are not going to raise voice for the level playing field, because we have never gotten a level playing field since 1988 till 2011 and 93 in 2013. Because in 88 election, in 1990 election, 93 election, 97 election, 2002 election, 2008 election, People's Party was cut to size, and many of the seats, they were uh, maneuvered, and People's Party was left to a simple majority when they made the government. So Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari is very confident that whether we are going to get the level playing field or we don't get the level playing field,
Right.
but we are going to go and contest the election, and we will win and come back after winning, and we'll make the government in the federal government, center and in province. So
Right.
this is a time that we are going to have a Jala Prime Minister and a Jala Chief Minister Sindh. And we are
Yeah,
not
you had
going to
Jala
complain
And
Prime
Jala
anymore for
Minister.
president
level
as
playing
well?
field.
You had Jala Prime Minister, President, CM in the past as well, quite recently actually, 10, 14 years ago. But let me also bring in Sardar Ramesh
So
Singh
now you are
Arora.
claiming for a Jala Prime Minister.
Said, okay. I think that the two prime ministers, Yusuf Taza Gilani was also a Jala, was he not? And similarly, others who came after him. But allow me to
No, but
actually bring.
we are talking about 2024 now.
Right, right, sir. Let me welcome Sardar Ramesh Singh Arora, leader Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, who joins us on telephone. Sardar sir, thank you very much for being part of the program. Let me ask you, regarding your party's strategy, we keep on hearing that your party is going to woo as many people as possible. And we ended up hearing that perhaps Chaudhry Nisar will also be contacted. Is there a possibility of bringing to its fold various, different splinter groups of Pakistan Muslim League, various versions, of course?
Hello.
Sardarji, Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah. There's some. I think there's some problem in your voice. I cannot hear you properly. Can you repeat your question?
I can, sir. Regarding your party's strategy, we have seen that your party is now working with MKM in Karachi, and there's going to be some kind of arrangement there. But regarding reports that we kept on seeing that Chaudhry Nisar might also be wooed back to the party, and that other splinter groups of Muslim League might also be reached out to. Is there a chance of something of similar sort, perhaps contacting PMLQ, various other parties as well?
Also, look, in normally in general, when you're going for the elections, so certainly in politics, you bring some people and you bring some political parties and you go for the election. So to have a coalition with different parties and bring them together and go for the election, it's not something that it's new. So if someone is going to come under the umbrella of Pml-n and they follow the manifesto of Pml-n, so Pml-n will not have this issue. So regarding MQM has they would be having their own manifesto, but if they're going to go into the election along with the Pml-n, so they met with the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister Mia Nawaz Sharif, the guide of Pml-n. So they had a long discussion and about the formalities of the election. So certainly we are going to gather. Let's see how it works. So certainly leadership will decide about it. But we are going to have. But what I have heard that we are going to have election in connection with the with MKM. Regarding Chaudhry Nisar, I have heard this thing only from you, so I'm not clear. but being a and start
Uh, Sardar Sahab, you'll have to repeat yourself because because of the line, your words are filtering
no,
out.
I don't know about this news. For me, this is a new this is a new news for me.
Right. Regarding what you're building in Sindh, whether it is a coalition, whether it is some kind of alliance, or whether it is a seat adjustment with various parties, the question then is, are you going to reach out to GDA as well?
Certainly, as I said earlier, when you go for the election, because if you remember, during last 16 months, we had the coalition with the MQM, we had coalition with the Pakistan People's Party, and so many other political parties. So when we are going for the election, so this is every political party has its own right to have alliance or coalition with different political parties because objective is to reach the ultimate voter. Because in Sindh, we do have our voter, and our voter was waiting for the Pml-n for a very long time. And
Right.
particularly when Mia Nawaz Sharif was the Prime Minister of Pakistan, he played a pivotal role, a very key role to bring peace in Karachi. And the people of, whenever I go and meet with the people of Karachi, they are always very thankful to Mia Nawaz Sharif that he played a key role to bring peace in Karachi. So certainly, if you are going to go for the alliance in MKM and other political parties, so it can be possible. So not a
Right.
big, you can say, news or something like that.
Absolutely. Let me come back to the studio and Faisal, one party that we want to actually talk about now. There seems to be a veritable loot sale of various members of PTI that actually keep on going to other parties. Do you think that those electables that are going to say IPP or for that matter, Rajat Riaz went to PML and a few actually even ended up with People's Party. Do you think that they will be able to carry their votes along?
Farrukh, if we look at they carrying their votes along, I think this time around, dimensions of the elections, they have entirely changed. Why I say this? Because this has been repeatedly, discussed in our show as well, that the kids who were 15, 16 and 17-year-old, suddenly, I'm talking about them kids who were in 2018, they were 15, 16 and 17-year-olds.
They did not vote at that time.
They did not vote at that time.
So how would you know
this
which
time
way they are
around,
going to vote?
No, what it is that the majority of them, of course, they have a presence on social media, they have presence elsewhere, and they are the ones
What
who,
is
as soon as-
elsewhere? What is
Elsewhere is anything around our surroundings and in our society.
Okay.
They are quite vocal when it comes to talking about the politics, and this is obviously to some extent it is good for the country. It is good for the country's democracy as well.
Are you telling me because of these young ones,
Yeah.
we are going to have change of how our politics is conducted? I thought
not only this,
hang
Farrukh.
on.
Yeah.
Let me finish the question. I believe that most of our politics were driven by Batadri politics and politics of interest, where elders decide where you vote.
Yeah.
So why would that change now?
In past, of course, the social media wasn't that vibrant. Why I'm saying this, even if I go to my own village, suddenly if I go to meet somebody, kids around and the elders around, they're just going through the TikToks and they're going through the Twitters and all of these social mediums, and that is how they are, getting in touch with the political fabric of the country. So this is something quite new for me. This is going to be very new for the political parties as well.
No,
While they'll be campaigning for themselves.
This was something that was relevant in 2018 and to an extent 13 as well. You are saying that this time there is a coup of sorts that is going to change everything.
But with every year, in 13, the number of votes who used to believe in these things, they were quite lesser. If we talk about 2018, it got increased. If we talk about 2024, it is indeed going to be increased. Why I say this? Because today it's more vibrant today. It's
Yeah,
everywhere.
but
So
remember that no matter how many youngsters are added to the voting pool, the old ones don't just go away; they are still voting. So allow me to actually
one
very
thing I
quickly.
wanted to earlier ask, if with your permission, Farrukh bhai, with your permission, I
You're
wanted
not
to.
seeking permission. You're telling me. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, with your permission, I just wanted to ask a question from obviously Zulfikar Saab, which I've been thinking about it since a couple of days now. That was related to MQM and alliance of MQM and PMLN. Does it bother them in province of Sindh? Because Sindh happens to be their stronghold, and if their stronghold is getting leaked by one of their former allies, how do they see it?
Faisal sir, tell you that in my personal opinion and in my leadership opinion, People's Party leadership and People's Party local leadership is not at all worried about the alliance of MQM and PMLN. Because if you look at the history in 1990, they broke Pakistan Party and Mr. Ram Sadiq was uh, the minister of. He tried People's Party at that time. Then he back in two when uh, was given the chance to the province try to break People's Party, but Pakistan Party against all odds, how this made
Yeah.
People's Party has actually won the elections, and we are not at all worried about for any kind of alliance. Even all the parties against People's Party, if they make a bigger alliance against People's Party, it is not going to be an issue because it is just going to be just a perception in the media that these alliances going to do a lot. But in fact, at the ground reality, People's Party is going to win in the interior state. Even in Karachi, People's Party is going to take more than
Right.
expected seats in Hyderabad. So
And
this is
Badr Saab,
near.
Zulfikar Badr Saab, I'm glad that you're talking about your party's ambition and its hope that it is going to carry the day. Let me ask you, does it worry you that your main coalition partner during the government that just left, is actually building an alliance particularly against you? Because it seems that MKM and GDA minus People's Party with PMLN is only one party as a target, and that is your party.
Pitafi sir, tell you the truth. Pakistan People's Party had that kind of understanding that we have to be contested with of the uh, political platform. Because at this our mind clear about that People's Party to contest on their own symbol, on their ideology and manifesto. So we are not at all worried about who's going to alliance People's Party. Even People's Party is going to run and kick campaign in Punjab and when you will see Mr. Bilal Zardari traveling provinces and mobilize the people.
Right, absolutely. And let me go back to Sardar Ramesh Singh Arora. Sir, since we are talking about, how various parties are behaving now and preparing for elections, one question that comes to my mind is a couple of months ago, or a few months ago, when you were in power, you were saying, your party was saying that we are together to save the state rather than politics. The crises are not over. So why is it that your party seems to be now focused on politics rather than saving state by actually putting together a broader coalition of People's Party, PMLN, perhaps even PTI?
Pitafi sir, look, we are not a power hungry, and we never said that we are power hungry. Uh, Before the election was announced and when we were in the government, now our statement is the same. So we want that everyone should come forward to bring peace, stability into the country. And now how the country is going on, particularly when we talk about the economic condition of the country, the economic condition is not good. Certainly, we want that everyone should play and they should come with a very mature approach, because if we want that peace should prevail, economy should go towards the right direction, stability must be there, we must have a good relationship among the neighboring countries, so everyone should come and play the role. That's why we want that if there is like blame game from other side, so from our side there's no blame game. Whenever some asks from me that we are, our reply or answer would be that yes, if someone would come and follow the line of the same line we used to have when we were in the coalition government, so we don't have any issue. But the blame game is started from somewhere else. If they are asking from the level playing field, likewise, we want that there must be a level playing field. What was the problem with the Nawaz Sharif government when the government was thrown away in 2017? So still we are struggling that a justice should be given to me and Nawaz Sharif, because he is out from the election. He cannot come and contest the election because he has been victimized by the he has been victimized. So that's why if they ask for the level playing field, why they are blaming Pml-n? They should go to those quarters from where, because whenever they ask for the level playing field, they don't go directly and ask from those institutions with whom they have problems. So there's always a blame game. So, but still,
wants to
when
reply.
going for the election,
Very quickly. Arora Saab, very quickly, you have rightly pointed out, obviously, about the level playing field. One of your former Prime Minister, Shahid Haqqan Abbasi, in one of his interviews given to one of our colleagues, obviously at a private channel, in which he highlighted that he will not be contesting elections because owing to the fact that he sees level playing field not being provided to everyone. What does he mean by that?
Within his own party as well?
Yeah, within his own party.
Okay.
Shahid Haqqan Abbasi is a former Prime Minister, and I have very good relationship with them. This can be his statement, personal statement. I don't know why he's saying like that it's not level playing field. So if he's, I think so, because there are still 3 to 4 months to go and elections are 3 months away. So situation would be changed. So let's see, because he always has a high respect. Whenever you ask from him, he always has a very high respect for me and Nawaz Sharif. So I think so, the things will be settled on and he will be coming back to the party, because he's a senior rep of Pakistan Muslim League. He was Prime Minister of the country on the platform of Pakistan Muslim League. And so I don't think so that the situation would go towards that direction, that he would not contest the election. For me, yes, things will go towards the
Will he accept, Arora Saab, will he accept the interference of Mohtarma Maryam Nawaz Sahiba within the party, sir?
If you remember, he always gave respect to Mohtarma Maryam Nawaz Sahiba. When he was out of the jail, Mohtarma went to meet him, and he always has regard for the Mohtarma Maryam Nawaz Sahiba. So I don't think so that there is some conflict with Mohtarma Nawaz Sahiba, but he's a senior rep. He has some he must have some his own things he wanted to discuss with the Mia Nawaz Sharif. So now Mia Sahib is back, so certainly he would be going there and meeting with Mia Nawaz Sharif. So things will be settled on, and this is democracy in political parties. So it doesn't mean that if you have...
But one concern, Arora Sahib, there's one concern that various political parties actually keep on highlighting, that perhaps your party has convinced itself that it is going to rule the country after elections. That's why its attitude keeps on changing. But allow me to actually go back to Zulfikar Bader Sahib, who wanted to actually respond to you when you were talking about level playing field. Zulfikar Bader Sahib, floor is yours.
Pitafi sir, I have already mentioned that Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari has already clarified that we are not going to complain about the level playing field any again once now, because uh, since 88 elections we have never got a level playing field, and the kind of level playing field which is to be given to all the parties, that's an equal opportunity to go for a free, fair and transparent elections, which Pakistan People's Party never got. So we are anticipating and hopeful that everyone should be given the level playing field. But since 88, Pakistan People's Party was supposed to get the two-thirds of majority, which was cut down to size on a simple majority. And
Well,
again in 1990 election, if you look at the history of Asghar Khan case, you will get to know how the IGI was given a chance and Pakistan People's Party was stopped from coming into power. And 1993, all the major cities of Pakistan, especially in Punjab, they were all cut and they were all maneuvered, and all the
I
major
get that.
candidates
I
were
get that.
made lost.
And Badr Saab, then your complaint is essentially with various pillars of state and permanent institutions, so to speak. Then pray explain to me, when the PTI was being pushed out of power, why did you volunteer to work with the same establishment?
You see, it was every time, if you look at the history, it was some part of the establishment, few of the players, not all the uh, players as an institution, but few of the players who were the decision makers. They used to play their own plot, and they used to have their own games, and they have to plan for their own, people coming back into power. So they played their game in 1990, and that Asghar Khan case rose up and went into the Supreme Court, and decision was given. And in 1997, People's Party was not even got a single seat. And in 2002, Pakistan People's Party got the majority, and then People's Party was broken, and Patriot Pakistan People's Party Patriot was made, and Mr. Jamali was made the Prime Minister with one seat at the time when
I
Musharraf Marshal
understand that. I understand that, sir, but that is old history. Now we are talking about recent one, na? So we have to talk about, your party actually taking stock of its own decision to participate in removal of one government and then becoming, playing the second fiddle with another party that you are now complaining about. Another aspect that is regarding this idea of crooked stage, that perhaps you are not being given the kind of chances that are there. One would say that perhaps the only thing where there seems to be some bias is media's coverage of various parties. Pundits keep on saying that your party is not going to win, it is Pml-n that is going to win. So the biggest question then is your media strategy not flawed?
Yes, maybe it's possible that we have not actually been maneuvering and managing the media the way it has been managing and maneuvered by, because we are not using all those tactics and strategies which other party is actually creating their perception in the media.
Why not?
Vote when
Why
the
not?
confidence, it was institutional and lawful thing, and people got into the power in alliance with all the parties, and all the parties with People's Party. We were sharing. Mr. Shabazz gave actually credit to Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari on the floor of the house, that because of Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, this coalition government was united. So the reason the whole thing is being created, the ground reality is different, but the perception is different. So maybe we are not actually focusing on creating a perception, or maybe we are bad in creating a perception management
Yeah.
for making our party win. But we are going to go in the elections, and we are going to fight on the ground at the grassroots level
Absolutely,
to
sir.
win.
But just a quick reminder to everybody that political parties are essentially in politics to win elections, and that actually includes media strategy. But allow me to actually very quickly go to Sardar Ramesh Singh Arora. Sir, what magic do you have to control the media, as is being implied by, Badr Saab here?
To be very honest, Pitafi Saab, I am surprised to know that Badr Saab is saying that we are maneuvering the media and they are not maneuvering the media. So if they think as a political as a political party to who has stopped them not to go to the media? And if they think the media is not as per their wish list, and media is not following the line they want to follow, they go to the media and they just go for it. It's not matter of media, Pitafi, to be very honest. It's the deliverance. So, unfortunately, deliverance was not there. As Raja Faisal highlighted it very well, because this time the youth is coming, and now the situation is changed. Now, what the youth want that there must be evidence. You cannot just propagate it that we've done this, we've done this. Now the time is over, and now the youth of Pakistan, they want something concrete, and that's why every political party has to change their style, change their way of action, change their manifesto according to the need of the youth. Yeah. So political Pml-n has realized it, and they have started working on it. And I really appreciate Mariam Nawaz Sahaba. She's working on it day and night. Not only day and night, along with other members of the Pml-n leadership. Because I just give you one example, Farrukh Pitafi. We started a campaign to bring more and more minority people, and Madam Mariam Nawaz, he organized this minority bank. Can you believe?
That is great news, Arora Sahab, but I'm told that we have run out of time for this segment, sir. Thank you very much for your precious time. And Zulfikar Ali Bader Sahab, thank you very much for your time as well. Now we have to move on to the next story, which is very important regarding how India has been actually, on one side, crying wolf, regarding alleged, terrorism in other countries, but it is one country that keeps on, adding to the pile of terrorism. FinCEN report that came, actually dumped, that came 2 years ago, actually revealed that Indian banks, which were essentially even highlighted by Pakistan as its dossier on India's sponsorship of terrorism, the National Bank of Punjab and similar banks have been actually sending black money to various doubtful, redoubtable accounts all over the world to the tune of $1 billion. That is not all. They have been actually sponsoring various kinds of humanitarian violations, and then we have seen the way they keep on fudging their books as well. And of course, India's gangster scene underground is one of the biggest in the region. And yet everybody keeps on talking about this country, that country, not India. Now FATF is asking India some pertinent questions. And how important those questions are, let me ask Raja Faisal, your take.
Yeah, Farrukh, extremely important, and of course this is something which has been going on for a long time. Probably when India was obviously more interested in getting Pakistan blacklisted at FATF, it was at that time, it was at a full swing. So whatever they were doing, they were hiding at that time, and they were not worried about it. And obviously about Pakistan, Pakistan was doing its best to obviously, cope with the recommendations which were recommended by FATF at that time, and again we highlighted them in our show. But this time around, you take, gold smuggling, billions of dollars they got smuggled. I mean, you name a crime and it is taking place in India, and now, of course, they are going to be taken to the cleaners. But Farrukh, most important thing is that this time around, of course, the terror financing, that is an issue as well, because RSS and of course India's own state, I mean, it was involved in killing of Singh Nijar,
a Canadian
Canadian Sikh leader who propagated obviously about Khalistan and referendum of Khalistan. He got killed, and of course government of Canada is shouting out loud about it. And at the same time, there are several other cases.
There were complaints in UK as well.
Complaints in UK and Kenya.
Which would reach their parliament. And not to mention, Faisal, we have a terrorist sitting in Pakistan, Indian terrorist in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Farrukh, very importantly,
There
I
we
mean,
go.
8 of their naval forces, retired officers, 8 of them, they got booked obviously in Qatar. And what were they doing? They were actually part of a nexus doing spying for Israel. So this is what is taking place when it comes to India. And of course, all of these activities, they have to have a nexus, a monetary nexus as well, that keeps on fueling it, so that their illicit activities throughout the world, which they are exporting there, in a way they are exporting terror to the world. Of course, it requires a sort of nexus of fueling all of the activities. So that is what they have been doing, and I'm so glad that coming days are going to be very interesting. And I think in our show, plus all of the media channels of Pakistan and throughout the world, whichever the media houses that are responsible and want to be responsible towards the world themselves, they must highlight these cases, these probes, because that is going to be very important for the world.
Right. And while you were talking about India's export of terrorism or extremism in other countries, I just pointed out that there is somebody from India that is in our custody that we actually caught red-handed. Why did you drop that ball?
Because you perfectly mentioned him at that time.
No,
so
but you can further do it.
Yeah.
Because we are the biggest victim of India's
Farrukh,
extremism.
Farrukh, if you dig deep into that story, I mean, Mubarak Hussain Patel, obviously his real name was Kulbhushan Jadhav. He's been financing terror not only on the bordering sites, but of course the bigger cities of Pakistan. When it comes to Karachi's terrorism, when it comes to Lahore's terrorism, or whatever the terrorist activities were going on, he was funding BLA, he was funding TTP. Wherever he saw an opportunity, he's been doing that at that time. And the route he was using, of course, from Chabahar, he was having a sort of portraying as if he's a businessman, gemstones and all of these things he deals in. And suddenly, of course, when he gets caught while recruiting in Pakistan, and Farrukh, on his passport, of course, Mubarak Hussain Patel's passport, there were 17 visits to different places. That means that he's been, perfectly coping with it, and he had a side identity, and he's been maintaining it perfectly, and he's been portraying as if he was a Muslim. But apparently, then he got caught in Pakistan. His wife, his mother, they were made to meet as well to him in Pakistan, because Pakistan, allowed them a consular access as well. Then the lawyers were.
Let me ask you another question, a follow-up question. I understand how Pakistan was being treated when Pakistan was on grey list. But when you talk about India, given that in the end everything is done through electoral process, voting takes place regarding which country stays in one list or goes to the other. Do you think that India can easily be brought to grey list, or for that matter blacklist?
For a perfect question, and that's where the double standards of the world, they would simply pop out. And of course, we know that there are very important Western countries who would simply say that they have economic endeavors to look after. They have contracts going on with India, heavy billions of dollars of worth of contracts. So they won't be obviously heading towards that, and we might see that they will be getting a leverage out of it. But I think world must come to realization that economic endeavors, sometimes they have to give up on them, and humanity and the larger interest of the world should be looked after.
Dr. Foster's has taught us that you cannot sell your soul for money. So that is something that is important as well. I'm told that we have to conclude the program here. Faisal, thank you very much for your time. But viewers, when I say that Pakistan perhaps has been the biggest victim of India's export of terrorism, and remember, Kulbhushan Jadhav is projected as somebody who is only a spy, not a terrorist, but he has actually confessed it on tape that he has been exporting or bringing terrorism and killing people in Pakistan. That is not all. Remember Samjhota Express? There was a body called Abhinav Bharat they were responsible for it. But when Modi government came into power, we saw something very interesting. Their major investigative organization, one member called Rohini Salyan actually volunteered that she has been asked to let go of the investigation charges, and one by one all those people who were booked were allowed to go back, including one Colonel Purohit, who was in custody and was allowed to actually join back the service. And that is not all. Pragya Thakur actually ended up being a parliamentarian. So with that kind of a situation, and where India's parliament is said to have at least 1/3 of people who are involved in some financial crime, I think India's time for accountability has come. If you don't want to pay attention to it, that is your choice. But then you will be selling your soul to the devil. This was today's program. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.